Welcome everybody to another round of World of Tanks subscriber replays. My name as always is Maxwell, and today's first video is from the user I'm a Legend. That's I'm a Legend, and he's driving the Waffentrager E100 on a standard battle on the swamp. So the Waffentrager is the tier 10 tank destroyer for the Germans. It's the one that gets the lovely 6-shell autoloader. Every single round doesn't do fantastically large amounts of damage. In fact, we'll just go ahead and take a look at the AP rounds there. You see damage on average 560, but penetration is 276, and it gets 6 rounds in its clip, not the 4 that the American autoloaders get, or 5 that some of the French autoloaders get. It gets 6 shells, so able to really rain down death and destruction on an unsuspecting enemy target here. So going to be setting himself up at the windmill and see if he can pick somebody out. As you see, interesting way of angling his body there. Because the turret is mounted all the way on the back, it gets the same problem that the VK4502 gets, which is to stick the turret out means you need to get most of the tank out of cover as well. So a lot of the time, it's better just to turn the turret all the way around. Oh, very nice shot on that Type 59. Spin the turret all the way around and back out the rear of the tank in order for you to get those shots off. But it being a tank destroyer, it's not likely to get spotted here, so pretty safe to do so. Oh, a little bit unfortunate to miss that Object 140 there, but the second shot's going to get, and it looks like the 140's either stuck or doesn't have the engine power to get away, and then 3 quick shots, and that is kill number 1. And nearly 2,500 points of damage already. As you see, the Type 59 has a shot there. But like I said, even with the rear armor exposed, this thing still has 2,200 hit points, so it's able to absorb quite a lot of damage. And not just that, but it does have the body of the E100. So it does have quite formidable armor, even on that side and that rear. So if you're able to side scrape your rear out whilst pointing your turret at something, then you're able to a lot of times just scrape most of those incoming shots. So as you see, it's going to take him almost a minute to reload that clip, so we're just going to speed this one up a little bit until he refills that clip. Best thing to do with an autoloader that takes a minute to reload is like you're seeing here with I'm a Legend. Just drive behind a house, sit there, and then wait for your gun to reload. Once your gun's reloaded, then go back and take up a firing position. Excuse me, still got a bit of a cough and a cold today, so if I sound under the weather and I'm not up to my usual sparkling commentary, then I do apologise. Hopefully should be over that in the next couple of days, and we can get back to normal. So just waiting to see if anybody else is going to make a move up here. You can see there's an E75 and a 4502 somewhere in the south there. They haven't been spotted for a while, and there's that IS-7 making a move. The risk you always play with these tank destroyers is basically getting caught. If the enemy team's able to push and catch you off guard when you don't have a full clip, or if maybe you're just about to reload, then you are in some serious trouble, especially with a 60-second reload time. So just having a scan around, see if you can spot anybody. It looks like that IS-7's actually pushing back the Allied team quite successfully on his own at the moment, so probably going to have to be careful here. And there we go, that's an E75 spotted over in the distance. But it looks like he's up on the ridge there, so not really going to be anything that he can do about that. It looks like he's up there with the Type 59. So this one is a little bit slow to start here. Spots out the VK making a move, so going to get his reticule ready. Nope, decides to switch to the E75 instead. Get some lovely side armor. Ooh, very nice first shot. Sets him on fire and takes off his track. Not sure what's going on with the reticule here. I think there's a little bit of lag. Not really wanting to expend a shell on that E75, considering he's only got about 40 or 50 hit points left there. Not really going after the kills here, going after the damage. But that E75 is one shot from death, and that 5120 should be able to pick him up, but he hasn't as of yet. So I'm a Legend just going to finish him off and pick up kill number 2, and that leaves him one more shell for this 4502. But it looks like he has successfully gotten himself into cover. Just going to hang around a little bit and wait for him to break cover, but it looks like that's not happening. So just going to go back behind the house and reload his clip. But as you can see, he's only fired off 2 full clips here, and he's already caused 4,500 points worth of damage. Just having a scan around, does see that Type 59, but again, his clip's not reloaded yet. And there we go, finally finishes reloading, and there's no targets to shoot at. The 4502 is hidden, although it looks like he's making a move. Not wanting to fire off into the fog of war. But it looks like his team has been successful at pushing that northern flank. They've looked like they've dealt with that IS-7 now. And the Batchat and the 4502 on the Allied team are now coming around. Oh, nice shot, nice helpful shot from the artillery there, taking out the building. And that is going to be all she wrote for the 4502. Every single shot sailing straight through his side armor there. Not able to see that Type 59. Looks like he's actually on the other side of that ridge. And I'm a Legend going to break cover now because he's picked himself up 3 kills and 5,800 points of damage. Going to decide to reload his ammunition here and then transition to this southern flank. Looks on... Yes, he is going to transition to the southern flank. So it looks like the southern flank is where he's needed most. So it looks like the guys in the north have got that sewn up. There's another 4502. It's not often you see one of these tanks in a battle, let alone 2. It looks like he's taken a bit of a pounding from the Allied tanks so far. Reloaded. First shot is able to take out his tracks. Second shot starts laying some damage down on him. Unfortunately, just bounced that one and bounced his second one. And his third. Can he put some damage through with the last shot for the kill? Gonna wait till he changes his position. Oh, a little bit unfortunate there from the 4502. So that thing does have some very strong front and side armor, which is why this guy, I'm a Legend, bounced on him so many times. But as you saw there, 4502 just making a little bit of a mistake there. 3 shots had already bounced on him, and then as soon as his track was repaired, he angled himself completely differently, and then I'm a Legend was able to put the last shot through and pick up kill number 4. So, if he'd already bounced 3 shots while he was tracked, when his tracks come back up, it's probably going to be a safe bet to stay at exactly the same angle that you're at, because you've already bounced 3 of those shots. So chances are you're probably going to bounce some more shots. So it looks like that ST1 making his way into the swamp. I'm a Legend still reloading. Still going to take a little bit longer for that to tick over finished. But it looks like this ST1 is giving him a chance to reload. He's been spotted from somewhere. There's almost certainly going to be somebody around the other side of this rock. Not quite sure where or who. He's just going to have to play it carefully, because if that Batchat artillery decides to start raining death down on him, that's going to be curtains for him. Although the Batchat's probably going to have to start running away any minute now, because there's a 4502 and an AMX 5120 closing in on probably his position. Takes a hit there from the ST1. The ST1's hiding on the other side of the swamp there through the water. Nice shot from the Allied artillery there, just to soften them up a little bit. That M53-55 is having a great game so far as well. Looks like the ST1, after taking that artillery hit, has decided to drop back even further. Got to be careful of this M103, because if I was the M103, I'd be flanking around the other side of this rock right about now. So, very slow and very tactical at the moment. Got to be careful. Actually, to be honest, that M103 may be going back towards the base. Because you've got those 2 heavy tanks making a beeline there. Spots out the ST1. Oh, gets a massive shot on his front armor there. And then the artillery's able to take him out. And there indeed is the M103 flanking around. And the Batchat lands a shot, so uses his repair kit just to fix those tracks. Because the Batchat reload speed is normally just about as fast as a heavy tank's repair speed. So generally what tends to happen is it can just keep you perma-tracked. So you really need to be careful there. So yep, using his repair kit. He's got 4 shots in the clip. Is that going to be enough to take out the M103? Yes, it probably is, as long as he doesn't bounce any shots. Oh no! Gets himself taken out just about by the M103 with 242 hit points left. But then the Avenging Angel, the M53-55, comes in for the kill. But absolutely awesome game there from I'm a Legend, picking himself up 9,100 points of damage, and it looks like it's going to be the allies, the 5120 and the 4502, to pick up the victory. So absolutely awesome replay there from I'm a Legend, picking himself up 9,000 points of damage and having an absolutely amazing game. So thank you very much for sending that replay in. Stick around, because as always, the score screens and another game are coming right up. And our second replay of the day is from the user Juho996. That's Juho996, and he's driving the Jagdpanzer E100 on a standard battle on the highway. Jagdpanzer E100 being the other tier 10 tank destroyer for the Germans. So the playstyle of this one completely different from the Waffentrager, just in the fact that it also has a very long reload, but it also doesn't have an auto loader. It just fires one shell that does a massive fuck off amount of damage, and then it spends all of that time reloading, so it doesn't do the little bits of damage that the Waffentrager does. In fact, let's have a look at the AP shells. Average damage of 1,050 and penetration of 299. So this thing is going to hit you in the face very, very hard every time that it fires a shot. But the other thing about the Jagdpanzer E100 is it is pretty damn slow, so we're going to speed this one up until we get into some action, especially considering that the highway, there's generally a lot of driving at the start before you get anything. So we're going to be playing a little bit differently to what tank destroyers normally do. We're going to be heading into the city. Normally you only get the heavy and medium tanks over here. But Juho going to support his platoon mate there. And going to be heading off into the city. Spots a mouse here. Thinks to himself, well, I can have some of that. The T-44 clears the wall out the way so he can know if he's got a shot on. You can fire through walls, but it's a little bit risky because you're not quite sure whereabouts your shot's going to land on the enemy tank. Mouse decides to come back up. 300 penetration straight through his turret, and there's 1,066 damage straight through the front of that mouse. He's going to be feeling a little bit sore after that one. So now he's got to spend that long time reloading that cannon. As you can see, the E75's also just through the wall. Mouse takes his shot but misses there. Juho, as you can see, takes his time. You've really got to play carefully with these tanks because you've got such a long reload time. And each shell does so much damage, you can't rush a shot. You definitely can't snapshot. If you're going to fire a shot, if you're going to pull that trigger, you've got to be pretty damn sure in your own mind that you're going to hit there. A little bit unfortunate with that roll there, only scoring 892 points of damage. You say only, but when you're driving this thing, 892 points of damage is a little bit of a low roll. But the mouse does only have 1,042 hit points left, which will be a kill shot if he gets a decent roll. Got the side of his turret there, not quite sure. Can he penetrate that one? Yes, he can. Mouse turned it a little bit more, but as you see there, gets another low roll with only 964. So not quite able to take the mouse out in 3 shots. But don't really want to waste a shell on that mouse. Somebody else should be able to come in and finish him off. Instead, going to switch his attention to this T-32. He's got a lovely shot on the turret there. And that is kill number 1 for Juho. And 3,500 points of damage. Deciding now that this flank is pretty much all sewn up, he's going to be switching his attention back to the northern flank and that left-hand flank. As you can see, the enemy team concentrating quite a lot of their forces over there. So, just having a little bit change of heart. He was going to be heading back to the base there in order to defend from all of those encroaching enemy tanks, but decided that taking up a position somewhere in the center of the map is probably going to be more beneficial. As you can see, the enemy has quite a lot of tank destroyers themselves, so it's probably going to be a better idea to try and clear some of those out for their attackers. Lovely shot on that low there, on that lurver, picking up 1200 points of damage. Jagdpanzer E100 showed himself now. Going to allow the other guys just to try and whittle him down a little bit. You can see, well, there's actually two of them, the T-44 and that Centurion. One of these two is going to be in some serious trouble if they don't move. There's the Centurion still sat in the same place, and there's the Centurion back to his garage. So that is kill number 2. He's been spotted, but to be honest, there's nobody really that can take a shot at him here. Jagdpanzer, the enemy Jagdpanzer E100 making a run for it. Spots out the enemy E100 up on the ridge there. Going to see if we can get a good shot on him. Yes, he can. Gets a shot straight through the front of that E100, causing another huge bit of damage. That sounded like some artillery landing nearby, so it may be time to start making a move. And as you can see there, the enemy campers have actually, well, they call them campers, the enemy base defense has actually held off this attack pretty damn well. As all that is left now is Juho in his Jagdpanzer E100 and this IS-8, who's turned up a little bit late to the party, and everybody else has been killed down in that little valley there trying to assault the E100. T-44 spotted out in the center there. If he's not going too fast, maybe able to get a shot on him, but again, don't want to waste shells. But luckily the IS-8 was able to pick that one up, picking up the slack of that missed shot. So setting himself up behind the little tin house, the tin shack here. IS-8 should really go forward and do some spotting. Although, did he just take a hit there? He may have just taken a big hit from something. Jagdpanzer E100 is probably still in the little valley there. If I was him, I probably wouldn't have moved. I'd just be spotting for the E100. So got to play this one carefully, as it is all tied at 9 kills to 9. Centurion rears his head in the center there. Juho hasn't been spotted, so he's going to move forward a little bit, take his time with this shot. Hopefully, if he gets a decent roll, no, not quite, but 982 damage is phenomenal. Hopefully, this IS-8, nope, I was going to say hopefully this IS-8 can finish him off, but it looks like the IS-8 gets himself taken out by the Jagdpanzer E100. And then his Juho's track gets taken out by the artillery. So going to have to play this one pretty damn smart, as he's got 3 tanks moving in on his position. Decides to take out the T110E4 first, and then he's going to move forward and use this tin shack as cover. Anybody who wants to get a shot at him will have to take out this shack first. And luckily the enemy Jagdpanzer E100 shot just absorbed by the tracks there. So going to move himself a little bit further forward, use the shack again as that Jagdpanther 2 backs away. Ooh, not quite able to get anything on him. There we go, the Jagdpanther stops, and that is kill number 4. And there we go, somebody's taken a shot and decided to demolish the tin shack. So Juho just going to use the terrain to get himself into safety. He's not sure if it was the E100 that fired that shot, or whether it was the artillery. It's a good bet that it was probably the artillery, considering it destroyed the whole thing in a single shot. And then the E100 bounced his shot on the front of Juho. Has he angled himself a little bit too much? No, it looks like he's done just enough to get back into that ditch unscathed. But there is there still a Centurion? No, there was still a Centurion, but it looks like somebody's been able to pick him off. And the Allied team's actually in pretty good shape at the moment at 12 kills to 10. They've got that Jagdpanzer E100 probably somewhere in the river. They've got a camping E100 in the base, and then that GW Tiger is hiding somewhere behind the base. So Juho just doing the smart thing here of allowing his teammates to close the net a little bit first, just to take the attention away from himself. Oh, that's going to be a beautiful shot through the side of this E100, and indeed it is. 1,099 points of damage straight to the face of that E100. Not able to pick up the kill, but he has been able to pick himself up 9,800 points of damage so far. And that's it. The net is considerably tighter than it was earlier, so just going to make his way forward. Spots out the E100 here, who has presented his rear armor. And that's what you get for presenting your rear armor to a Jagdpanzer E100. GW Tiger gets spotted as well, and he's going to get taken out in no time whatsoever. This enemy E100 does the only thing he can, which is run the hell away, tries to get under the bridge, and hopefully that may spare him from some of the artillery's wrath. But to be honest, it's not the wrath of the artillery you should be worried about, it's the wrath of this E100. One more shot, and that is kill number 5, and almost 11,000 points of damage. So absolutely awesome replay there from Juho996. Thank you very much for sending that one in. And don't forget, if you've got yourself a great replay, please send that into replay@screenreality.com. That's replay@screenreality.com. Links for that are in the description. Leave me a like or favourite if you enjoyed this video. If you're not already, please consider hitting that subscribe button for more content like this in the future. I've been Maxwell, this has been Wall of Tanks, and I will catch you guys next time.
No, mate, you're dead. You're deader than corduroy. Just tell me what happened. You don't get water. One, you fucked up, my friend, smashed my camp up. And you're dead anyway. Oh shit, has he just been bitten?